everything soggy. Jethro, you climb up on the roof and patch the hole that it comes through.
I don't think this is snow.
In the golden glow of 1960s television, few shows captured the hearts of American families quite like the Beverly Hillbillies. With its outlandish premise, a poor mountain family suddenly striking oil and relocating to the opulent hills of Beverly Hills, the show became an instant sensation, charming millions with its fish-out-of-water humor, slapstick moments, and unexpected warmth. But beneath the comedy and cornpone charm was a cast of actors whose real lives, like so many classic TV icons, were marked by struggle, change, and often, quiet departures from the spotlight. Premiering in 1962, The Beverly Hillbillies was never meant to be profound. It was pure, joyous escape. Yet it became a cultural juggernaut, topping ratings, spawning merchandise, and making household names of characters like Jed Clampett, Granny, Elly May, and Mr. Drysdale. For 9 seasons, viewers tuned in not just for the laughs, but to spend time with a family who, despite their newfound wealth, never lost their values, simplicity, or loyalty to one another. Behind the scenes, the stars of the show each carried their own personal narratives, some triumphant, others tinged with sorrow. From Buddy Ebsen's long and varied career that stretched back to vaudeville, to Donna Douglas's deep connection to her role as Elly May, to Irene Ryan's sudden and heartbreaking death not long after the series ended, the journeys of these actors mirrored the emotional complexity that often lay beneath the sitcom's surface. As time marched on, the cast members slowly faded from the public eye, some passing away quietly, others remembered in touching tributes. Today, their faces remain frozen in syndicated reruns and nostalgic memories, smiling from the screen as though no time had passed at all. In this video, we remember 7 actors from the Beverly Hillbillies who are no longer with us. Looking back not just at their deaths, but at the lives they lived and the characters that made us laugh, think, and ultimately feel. Their stories are more than footnotes in TV history. They are the human voices behind the laughter, the souls behind the Southern charm. So let's return, just for a while, to the Clampetts' cement pond, the echo of Granny's feisty yells, and the innocent joy of a simpler television era. This is their farewell, and our tribute. Buddy Ebsen, the reluctant star who anchored a generation. To millions, he was Jed Clampett, the humble backwoods patriarch who struck it rich and brought his kin to Beverly Hills. But behind that slow drawl and ever-patient grin was a seasoned entertainer named Buddy Ebsen, whose life stretched far beyond the front porch of the Clampett mansion. A dancer, singer, actor, and survivor of Hollywood's golden age, Ebsen was the backbone of the Beverly Hillbillies, holding its zany world together with quiet charisma and old-fashioned grace. Born in 1908 in Belleville, Illinois, Christian Ludolf, Buddy Ebsen moved to Florida with dreams of becoming a doctor, but the Great Depression derailed that path, and he soon found his way into show business. A gifted dancer, he performed alongside stars like Shirley Temple and was famously cast as the original Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. But tragedy struck. Ebsen had a severe allergic reaction to the aluminum makeup and was forced to leave the production. The role went to someone else, but Ebsen's resilience carried him forward. By the early 1960s, after years of steady work in film and TV, Ebsen took on the role that would define him, Jed Clampett. As the wide-eyed country millionaire, Ebsen avoided caricature. He played Jed with dignity and decency, making him more than just a punchline. He was a father figure, a moral compass in a world of absurdity. Whether wrangling Granny, protecting Elly May, or navigating life among the rich, Jed always led with kindness and common sense. Off-screen, Ebsen was just as dynamic. He was a sailor, novelist, and political conservative who never stopped working. After the Beverly Hillbillies, he found renewed success as the title character in Barnaby Jones, proving he could still lead a series into his senior years. Buddy Ebsen passed away on July 6, 2003, at the remarkable age of 95. His legacy spans over 7 decades of American entertainment. And while he played many roles, it is as Jed Clampett, rifle in hand, wisdom in heart, that he will be most remembered. He taught us that money doesn't change who you are. And in the hills of Beverly, or the hearts of viewers, that lesson still rings true. Irene Ryan, the feisty granny who stole every scene. She was small in stature but larger than life. Granny Daisy Moses, the sassiest, sharpest-tongued moonshine maker ever to grace a mansion in Beverly Hills. Played with fiery brilliance by Irene Ryan, Granny wasn't just comic relief, she was the show's secret weapon. Her wild antics, fierce loyalty, and unfiltered mountain wisdom brought the Beverly Hillbillies its most outrageous laughs and its most unforgettable heart. Born Jessie Irene Noblet in El Paso, Texas, in 1902, Irene Ryan had already lived a full showbiz life before she ever donned Granny's apron. She began in vaudeville, worked in radio alongside the likes of Bob Hope, and honed her comedic timing over decades. When she was cast as Granny at age 60, she brought with her a lifetime of stagecraft, and it showed in every wide-eyed glare, every stubborn stomp, every hollered insult hurled at city folks. Granny was the soul of the Clampett clan. Whether she was cooking up squirrel stew, threatening the banker with a rolling pin, or chasing suitors away from Elly May, she was unshakably loyal and unapologetically herself. Ryan's portrayal never descended into cartoon. There was truth beneath the laughs. You believed in Granny's fierce love, her pride, her aching nostalgia for simpler times back in the hills. Off-screen, Irene Ryan was the complete opposite of her fiery alter ego, refined, reserved, and deeply respected by her peers. She took her work seriously, often rehearsing her physical comedy with the precision of a dancer. Her performance earned her 2 Emmy nominations, a rare feat for a sitcom actor at the time. Tragically, her story ended shortly after the series did. In 1973, while performing in the Broadway musical Pippin, Ryan suffered a stroke on stage. She was later diagnosed with a brain tumor and passed away on April 26, 1973, at the age of 70. Her death stunned fans. The Beverly Hillbillies had just ended its run, and Granny's voice still echoed in their homes. Today, Irene Ryan is remembered not just for the laughs she brought, but for the sheer force of personality she channeled into a role that could have been a stereotype, but became a legend. Granny didn't just steal scenes, she stole hearts. Donna Douglas, the beauty with a gentle heart who became America's country sweetheart. In a show full of eccentric characters, Elly May Clampett was a radiant constant, innocent, kind, fiercely loyal, and always surrounded by her beloved critters. With her long golden hair, glowing smile, and southern charm, Donna Douglas brought Elly May to life in a way that made her not just a television character, but a national sweetheart. She wasn't just the pretty face of the Beverly Hillbillies, she was its soft soul. Born Doris Ione Smith in Louisiana in 1932, Donna Douglas had humble beginnings and a deeply rooted faith that she carried throughout her life. She began her career in beauty pageants and modeling, eventually making her way to Hollywood. Her big break came when she landed the role of Elly May, Jed Clampett's tomboy daughter who preferred raccoons and possums over pearls and parties. Douglas brought an authenticity to Elly May that transcended the script. She truly loved animals, and her off-screen compassion matched her on-screen sweetness. Viewers adored her innocence and purity in a world of excess. In a town that tried to refine her, Elly May stayed true to her mountain roots, just like Donna stayed true to herself. Despite her fame, Douglas never fully embraced the Hollywood lifestyle. After the show ended, she largely stepped away from acting, instead focusing on gospel singing, Christian children's books, and inspirational speaking. She became a fixture at church events and fan conventions, always grateful for the fans who remembered her warmly. Later in life, she was involved in a legal dispute over the film's Sister Act, which she claimed was based on a screenplay she had submitted years earlier. Though the case was dismissed, it showed her desire to continue creating meaningful, wholesome entertainment. Donna Douglas passed away on January 1, 2015, from pancreatic cancer, at the age of 82. Her death felt like the closing of a gentler chapter in television history, when goodness, charm, and a love of animals could define a star. Elly May Clampett may have been fictional, but the kindness and warmth she represented were very real. And in Donna Douglas, the line between character and actress blurred into something truly unforgettable. Raymond Bailey, the greedy banker with a genius for comedy. Every fish-out-of-water story needs someone to stir the water, and in the Beverly Hillbillies, no one did it better than Mr. Milburn Drysdale, the hilariously money-obsessed banker who would do anything to keep the Clampett fortune in his vault. Played with perfect comic timing by Raymond Bailey, Mr. Drysdale was the show's embodiment of Beverly Hills materialism, shallow, scheming, and utterly exasperated. Born in 1904 in San Francisco, Bailey had a winding path to success. He worked odd jobs, tried his luck on Wall Street, even toiled on a pineapple plantation in Hawaii before landing in acting. His early film and stage career was steady but unremarkable, until he stumbled upon a role that would make him immortal in television history. As Mr. Drysdale, Bailey struck comedy gold. With his nervous energy, puffed-up pride, and unrelenting panic at the thought of losing Jed Clampett's millions, he created a character that audiences loved to laugh at, and strangely, loved to love. He wasn't evil, just hilariously desperate. Whether groveling, scheming, or being outwitted by Granny, Drysdale brought chaos and balance to the Clampetts' world. Bailey's chemistry with Nancy Kulp, Jane Hathaway, was one of the show's most enduring comedic duos. While Jane brought restraint and reason, Mr. Drysdale was the opposite, blinded by dollar signs and completely out of his depth dealing with mountain folk. Behind the scenes, Bailey was known to be quiet and professional. But tragically, by the later seasons of the Beverly Hillbillies, he was suffering from Alzheimer's disease, which affected his ability to perform. He retired soon after the show ended and lived his final years away from the public eye. Raymond Bailey passed away on April 15, 1980, at the age of 75, from a heart attack. While his name may not have headlined posters, his performance left an indelible mark. He made greed funny, foolish, and unforgettable. In a show built on culture clashes and good-hearted misunderstanding, Raymond Bailey gave us the perfect foil, a banker out of his league, undone not by villains, but by decency, simplicity, and a family who never quite played by his rules. Nancy Kulp, the sharp-tongued secretary with a heart of gold. In a world of chaos and Clampetts, Miss Jane Hathaway was the calm in the storm, the intellectual, no-nonsense secretary who somehow kept Milburn Drysdale's banking empire from imploding. Played with wit, precision, and quiet charm by Nancy Kulp, Jane became one of the most beloved characters on the Beverly Hillbillies. She wasn't flashy or exaggerated. She was clever, loyal, and hilariously dry, a perfect foil to the show's larger-than-life personalities. Born in 1921 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Nancy Kulp's path to stardom was anything but ordinary. She earned a master's degree in English and French, served in the U.S. Navy during World War II as a member of the Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service, WAVES, and only later transitioned into acting. Her intelligence and discipline showed in every role she took, but it was Miss Hathaway that made her a television icon. Miss Jane was more than just Drysdale's assistant. She was often the moral center of the show. Her thinly veiled disdain for her boss's greed, combined with her obvious affection for the Clampetts, especially Elly May, gave the show a surprising dose of warmth and balance. Her subtle crush on Jethro, her dry comebacks, her strained patience, every element made Jane an unexpectedly rich character in a world of extremes. Off-screen, Culp was equally unconventional. She never married, and her personal life remained mostly private, though many later viewed her as a quiet trailblazer for LGBTQ representation in Hollywood. In the 1980s, she surprised everyone by running for U.S. Congress in Pennsylvania as a Democrat, advocating for education and public broadcasting. Her campaign was controversial, especially when her former co-star Buddy Ebsen publicly opposed her candidacy, but it showcased her courage and convictions beyond the soundstage. Nancy Kulp passed away from cancer on February 3, 1991, at the age of 69. Her death marked the loss of one of classic television's most quietly brilliant comedic actresses. Though not the loudest character on the Beverly Hillbillies, Miss Jane Hathaway stood tall, poised, principled, and unforgettable. And through Nancy Kulp's graceful performance, she proved that brains and heart could be just as memorable as slapstick and silliness. Elia Alman, the scene stealer with a voice made for comedy. Though she appeared only occasionally, Elia Alman made every moment count on the Beverly Hillbillies. As Elverna Bradshaw, Granny's chief rival and the Clampetts' nosy, prideful neighbor, Allman delivered some of the show's most side-splitting confrontations. With her sharp timing and unmistakable voice, she didn't just play supporting characters, she dominated scenes, leaving viewers laughing long after the credits rolled. Born in 1904 in North Carolina, Elvia Alman was a pioneer in radio comedy before transitioning to television and film. She began her career voicing comic characters on radio shows in the 1930s, often cast for her ability to make a line sing with sarcasm or sass. Her uniquely nasal tone became her calling card, landing her a wealth of supporting roles in early Hollywood. By the time she appeared on the Beverly Hillbillies, Allman had already built a rich career playing quirky secretaries, snobbish socialites, and busybody neighbors. As Elverna Bradshaw, she matched Granny in feistiness and energy, often sparring with her over social standing, traditions, or just plain stubbornness. Their banter felt effortless, rooted in comic chemistry and mutual respect. Beyond Hillbillies, Allman had roles in I Love Lucy, The Lucy Show, and Petticoat Junction, always bringing a punch of energy to any ensemble. She even appeared alongside Lucille Ball, one of television's biggest stars, who admired Allman's stage instincts and impeccable delivery. In real life, Elvia was known as gracious, deeply professional, and surprisingly soft-spoken compared to her on-screen personas. She continued to act well into her later years, enjoying a long and varied career. Elvia Alman passed away on March 6, 1992, at the age of 87. While she never headlined a series of her own, she was one of those rare performers who elevated everything she touched. To fans of the Beverly Hillbillies, Elverna Bradshaw will always be the woman who gave Granny a run for her money, and made us laugh out loud while doing it. Frank Cady, the friendly storekeeper who bridged three classic worlds. In the fictional towns of Hooterville and Big Tussle, Sam Drucker was a comforting constant, a friendly general store owner who always had time for a neighbor and a smile for every customer. Played with gentle warmth and affable charm by Frank Cady, Sam wasn't just a character on the Beverly Hillbillies, he was also a beloved figure in Green Acres and Petticoat Junction, making Katy one of the few actors in television history to appear as the same character across three simultaneous hit shows. Born in 1915 in California, Frank Cady started his career as a stage actor before moving into radio and film. After serving in World War II, he returned to Hollywood, where he carved out a niche as a reliable character actor. While he had roles in classic films like Rear Window and The Asphalt Jungle, it was television where his kindly demeanor found a lasting home. Sam Drucker wasn't flashy. He didn't drive the action or deliver big punchlines. But Katy made him memorable with subtle reactions, grounded delivery, and a genuine likability. He was the everyman in a world of eccentrics, and viewers adored him for it. His presence on the Beverly Hillbillies, in about 10 episodes, helped tie the show to its Hooterville universe, siblings, and reinforced the sense of a larger, shared television world. Off-screen, Frank Cady was known for being as mild-mannered and down-to-earth as the characters he played. He retired from acting in the early 1990s, living quietly with his wife in Oregon, far from the bright lights of Hollywood. Frank Cady passed away on June 8, 2012, at the age of 96. With his passing, one of the last living links to TV's rural sitcom golden age was gone. But Sam Drucker, and the man behind him, left behind a legacy of kindness, stability, and simple joy. He didn't need big scenes or dramatic storylines to win over hearts. Sometimes, all it takes is a quiet presence behind the counter, a warm voice, and a smile that says, "You're always welcome here." As we look back on the Beverly Hillbillies, it's easy to smile at the outrageous humor, the cement pond, the possum stew, and the way a family of country folk turned Beverly Hills upside down. But beneath the slapstick and southern charm was something far more enduring, a cast of actors who brought warmth, humanity, and heart to every scene. Their stories didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling, and in many ways, the roles they played became larger than life, woven into the very fabric of American television history. We remember Buddy Ebsen as the steady, decent patriarch who guided the Clampett clan with quiet wisdom. We celebrate Irene Ryan, whose wild-eyed granny made generations howl with laughter, even as her real-life ending came far too soon. Donna Douglas, with her radiant beauty and genuine sweetness, became a symbol of innocence and grace. And Raymond Bailey and Nancy Kulp gave us the perfect comedy duo, embodying the absurdity of wealth and the complexity of loyalty. Each left their mark, not just as characters, but as people navigating the strange world of show business with their own hopes, struggles, and truths. Even those who played smaller roles, Elvia Alman with her biting wit, Cady with his soft-spoken steadiness, contributed to a world that felt real, even when it was absurd. Together, they formed more than a cast, they formed a family. And though they're no longer with us, their voices still echo through reruns, their smiles frozen in time, their legacies alive in the laughter they gave. So as the curtain falls on our tribute to these 7 remarkable stars, we remember that the magic of the Beverly Hillbillies didn't just come from its scripts, it came from the hearts behind the humor. And in that sense, they haven't truly left us. They've simply gone home, just a little farther up in the hills.